Welcome to The Portrait That Spoke in Shadows by the Glitch Bureau. This book covers a 1924 mystery in a Bavarian castle turned art museum where a recently restored Renaissance portrait is said to whisper in a forgotten dialect. After the museum curator perishes mysteriously, a linguist and detective duo investigates echoes of a centuries-old revenge plot. Chapter 1: The Arrival at Schattenberg Castle. The road to Schattenberg Castle twisted through the Bavarian Alps, a serpentine path shrouded in mist. As Detective Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss arrived, the castle's Gothic spires pierced the sky, a silhouette of mystery and history. Emil, with his sharp gaze and methodical mind, stepped from the vintage automobile, his thoughts already racing ahead to the puzzles that awaited. Beside him, Clara adjusted her cloche hat, her mind buzzing with the possibilities of ancient dialects yet to be deciphered. The castle, now an art museum, was alive with the soft glow of gas lamps, casting flickering shadows that danced across intricate tapestries. Emile and Clara were greeted by the museum staff, their excitement palpable over the recent restoration of a Renaissance portrait. This painting, rumored to whisper in a forgotten dialect, had become the talk of the town. The air was thick with anticipation and an undercurrent of unease. As they entered the grand hall, the scent of aged wood and polished stone enveloped them. Emile's eyes scanned the room, noting the subtle details, the tapestry's frayed edges, the polished brass of the gas lamps, and the nervous energy of the staff. Clara, meanwhile, was drawn to the portrait, her fingers itching to unravel the linguistic secrets it might hold. The duo's partnership was a perfect blend of logic and linguistics, each complementing the other's strengths. Emile's knack for observation and Clara's linguistic expertise promised a thorough investigation. As they prepared to delve into the mystery of the whispering portrait, one question lingered. What secrets lay hidden within the castle's ancient stones? The dimly lit gallery of Schattenberg Castle was a place where history seemed to linger in the very shadows, whispering secrets of the past to those willing to listen. Detective Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss stood in front of the newly restored Renaissance portrait, its eyes following their every move with an eerie awareness. The painting, rumored to whisper in a forgotten dialect, hung in a place of honor, drawing visitors and skeptics alike into its enigmatic presence. Clara, her curiosity piqued by the tales surrounding the portrait, leaned in closer, her fingers tracing the delicate brushstrokes with reverence. "There's something about this painting," she mused, her voice barely above a whisper. Emile, ever the skeptic, watched her with a mix of curiosity and concern. "It's just a painting, Clara," he said, though his tone betrayed a hint of intrigue. "But a painting with a history," Clara countered, her eyes alight with the thrill of discovery. The room was thick with anticipation, a palpable tension that seemed to vibrate in the air as Clara listened intently. She hoped to catch the whispered dialect that had fueled so much speculation. Emil, despite his reservations, found himself drawn into the mystery, his analytical mind beginning to see patterns where others saw only coincidence. Their dialogue turned to the history of the painting, a tale shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Clara shared her insights into the dialect, drawing from her extensive knowledge of ancient languages. "It's a mix of Old High German and something else," she explained, her voice filled with the excitement of a scholar on the brink of a breakthrough. Emile nodded, his skepticism giving way to a growing fascination. "And you think it holds a message?" he asked, his mind racing with possibilities. Clara's eyes sparkled with determination. "I do. There's a story here, Emil, one that goes beyond the canvas." Her enthusiasm was infectious, and Emile found himself swept up in the mystery, their partnership deepening with each shared insight. This exchange not only strengthened their bond, but also set the stage for the revelations to come. The turning point came when Clara, in a moment of inspiration, deciphered a cryptic phrase hidden within the whispers. Her discovery hinted at a long-forgotten tale of betrayal and vengeance, linking the portrait to the castle's dark history. "It's a warning," she breathed, her voice trembling with the weight of the revelation. Emile's eyes widened as the pieces began to fall into place. "A warning of what?" he pressed, his mind racing to connect the dots. Clara's voice was steady as she replied, "A warning of betrayal. The portrait is tied to a story of revenge, one that echoes through the halls of this castle. Her words hung in the air, a catalyst that propelled them into a deeper investigation of the castle's past and the potential motives behind the curator's death. The emotional journey of this subchapter was marked by a growing sense of camaraderie between Emile and Clara. They shared moments of tension and triumph, their contrasting skills harmonizing as they peeled back the layers of the mystery. Emile's methodical approach complemented Clara's intuitive leaps, creating a dynamic partnership that was greater than the sum of its parts. As they prepared to explore the castle's hidden passages in search of further clues, the sense of urgency and anticipation was palpable. The mystery was far from solved, but they were on the right path, their determination unwavering. A portrait's secret was essential to the narrative, bridging the introduction of the mystery with the unfolding investigation. It reinforced the thematic elements of history, language, and the supernatural, while also advancing the plot in a logical and engaging manner. The subchapter left readers on the edge of their seats, eager to follow Emile and Clara into the shadows of the castle and the secrets they held. The gallery, with its dim lighting and echoing silence, seemed to hold its breath as Emile and Clara moved forward, their footsteps soft on the stone floor. Each step brought them closer to the truth, a truth that lay hidden in the whispers of the past, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek it. In the quiet of the gallery, surrounded by the weight of history, Emile and Clara stood united in their quest, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The portrait, with its haunting gaze and whispered secrets, was just the beginning of their journey into the heart of Schattenberg Castle and the mysteries it held. As they turned to leave, the eyes of the portrait seemed to follow them, a silent witness to their resolve. The stage was set, the players in place, and the mystery ready to unfold in all its complexity and intrigue. The adventure was just beginning, and Emile and Clara were determined to see it through to the end. Chapter 2: The Whispering Portrait Unveiled. The grand hall of the Bavarian castle was abuzz with anticipation. Herr Klaus Richter, the esteemed museum curator, stood before an eager audience, ready to unveil a masterpiece long hidden from the world. The Renaissance portrait, now restored to its former glory, depicted a noble figure with eyes that seemed to pierce through time. As the velvet drape fell, gasps filled the room, and whispers of its rumored curse echoed amidst the crowd. That night, the castle's atmosphere turned ominous. Shadows danced across the stone walls, and the whispers seemed to grow louder as if the portrait itself was trying to communicate. By morning, the castle was shrouded in mystery, with news of Richter's untimely death spreading like wildfire. The cause? Mysterious circumstances that left more questions than answers. Enter Emil Hartmann, a detective known for his sharp mind and methodical approach, accompanied by Dr. Clara Weiss, a linguist with a passion for ancient dialects. Together they embarked on an investigation that would unravel the secrets hidden within the castle's walls. Their first task was to examine the portrait, noting its enigmatic aura and the strange dialect it whispered. As they delved into Richter's last known activities, the castle's eerie atmosphere became palpable. Every creak of the floorboards and flicker of candlelight added to the tension. Emile and Clara, undeterred by the chilling whispers, began piecing together the puzzle of Richter's demise. Their journey through the castle's shadowed corridors would reveal not only the truth behind the portrait, but also a centuries-old tale of betrayal and revenge. The grand hall of the Bavarian castle turned art museum lay in an unsettling silence, its opulent tapestries and gilded moldings casting long shadows under the dim light of the chandeliers. Detective Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss stood amidst this grandeur, their eyes scanning every corner for clues that might unravel the mystery of Herr Klaus Richter's untimely death. The air was thick with tension, and the whispers of a curse seemed almost tangible, like a chill that refused to dissipate. Emile, a man of precision and quiet intensity, moved methodically through the room, his footsteps echoing softly against the polished marble floor. His keen eyes darted from the towering portrait that dominated the room to the subtle details that often went unnoticed. The painting, a Renaissance masterpiece recently restored and unveiled by the late curator, seemed to watch them with an unsettling gaze. Its whispered legends were now overshadowed by the grim reality of murder. Clara, with her sharp intellect and linguistic prowess, was attuned to the subtleties of human expression and the unspoken language of the past. She listened intently as Emile pointed out discrepancies in the statements given by the castle staff. Her mind, a tapestry of languages and dialects, began weaving the whispers she had overheard into a coherent narrative that pointed to secrets buried deep within the castle's history. As they examined the scene, Emile's attention was drawn to a peculiar set of footprints leading away from the portrait. These prints, he mused, suggest someone left in haste. But why? Clara, crouching beside him, nodded thoughtfully. Perhaps they saw something they shouldn't have, she suggested, her voice barely above a whisper, as if not to disturb the ghosts of the past. Their investigation led them to the castle's inhabitants, each a potential suspect, each with their own shadows to conceal. First on their list was Lady Anneliese von Braun, a woman whose elegance and poise were matched only by the mystery surrounding her past. In her private quarters, she greeted them with a serene smile, her demeanor calm as a still lake. Yet, Emile's instincts told him there was more beneath the surface. "Lady Anneliese," Emile began, his tone polite but firm, "can you recount your interactions with Herr Richter on the day of his demise?" She spoke with a measured cadence, her words carefully chosen. Clara observed her closely, noting the subtle inflections in her speech that hinted at a deeper connection to the portrait's enigmatic history. Next, they turned their attention to Otto Schmidt, the museum's assistant, whose ambition was as palpable as his nervous energy. Emile's questions seemed to unsettle him, and Clara watched as his composure crumbled under the weight of suspicion. "I didn't like him," Otto admitted, his voice tinged with resentment, "but I had nothing to do with his death." His eyes darted nervously, betraying an underlying fear that he was desperately trying to suppress. Finally, they confronted Professor Helmut Kruger, a rival curator whose contentious relationship with Richter was well known. Kruger's arrogance was evident, his disdain for Emile and Clara's inquiries barely concealed. "I have nothing to hide," he declared, his alibi suspiciously airtight. Emile noted the professor's confidence, wondering if it was genuine or a carefully constructed facade. As the interviews progressed, the atmosphere within the castle grew increasingly tense. The shadows seemed to lengthen, and the whispers grew more insistent, as if urging Emile and Clara to dig deeper, to look beyond the obvious. Each suspect left them with more questions, and the realization that the truth was intricately woven with the castle's dark past. Regrouping in a quiet corner of the library, Emile and Clara reviewed their findings. The suspects were like pieces of a puzzle, each with their own secrets and motives. "The portrait," Clara said thoughtfully, "it's more than just a painting. It's a key to the past, a witness to events long forgotten." Emile nodded, his mind racing to connect the dots. "We need to understand its history, its significance. Only then can we hope to uncover the truth." The subchapter closes with Emile and Clara standing before the portrait once more, its eyes seemingly alive with secrets yet to be revealed. The whispers are no longer just echoes of the past, they are warnings of what is yet to come. The suspects, each with their own shadows, are central to the mystery that envelops the castle, and it is up to Emile and Clara to piece together the puzzle that will lead them to the truth. Suspects in the Shadows deepens the intrigue, drawing readers further into the enigma of the whispering portrait. It captures the emotional journey of our protagonists as they navigate the treacherous waters of suspicion and deceit, setting the stage for the revelations that are sure to follow. Chapter 3: The Cast of Suspects. The air in the castle was thick with tension as Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss convened in the curator's study. "We must unravel the truth behind Richter's death," Emil stated, his voice carrying the weight of determination. Together they began compiling a list of suspects, each with their own potential motives. First on their list was Lady Anneliese von Braun, an art collector shrouded in mystery. Her past was as enigmatic as the portraits she coveted. Rumors whispered of a scandal that could threaten her reputation, giving her a possible motive. Her alibi? A late-night rendezvous with an unnamed confidant, leaving room for suspicion. Next, Otto Schmidt, the ambitious museum assistant. Overlooked and undervalued, he harbored resentment towards Richter, who never acknowledged his contributions. His alibi was shaky, a supposed inventory check with no witnesses to confirm his whereabouts. Then there was Professor Helmut Kruger, a rival curator with a history of heated disputes with Richter. Known for his fiery temper and relentless ambition, Kruger's motive seemed clear. He claimed to have been at a lecture in town, but the timing left gaps that begged further scrutiny. As Emil and Clara engaged with each suspect, the air crackled with tension and unspoken truths. Each interaction revealed more layers of intrigue, as secrets and hidden agendas came to light. The castle, with its shadowy corridors and whispered legends, seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the truth to emerge. With each suspect contributing to the web of suspicion, Emil and Clara knew they were only beginning to scratch the surface. The stage was set for a deeper investigation, one that promised to unravel the mysteries woven into the very fabric of the castle. As the sun dipped behind the jagged peaks of the Bavarian Alps, the castle's silhouette loomed against the twilight sky, casting elongated shadows across the cobblestone courtyard. The air was thick with an anticipatory chill, a prelude to the mystery that lay within the castle's ancient walls. Detective Emil Hartmann stood at the threshold, his sharp eyes scanning the architecture that bore witness to centuries of secrets. Beside him, Dr. Clara Weiss adjusted her spectacles, her mind already whirring with the possibilities of the linguistic puzzle that awaited them. Inside, the castle-turned-art museum was a labyrinth of Gothic arches and dimly lit corridors. The scent of old varnish and polished wood mingled with the faint aroma of candle wax, creating an ambiance both inviting and foreboding. The centerpiece of this enigma was the newly restored Renaissance portrait, rumored to whisper in a language long forgotten. It was this painting that had drawn Emil and Clara to the castle, and it was the painting that now seemed to hold the key to unlocking the mystery of Herr Klaus Richter's untimely demise. Richter, the museum curator, had been found lifeless in his study, a look of terror etched upon his face. The whispers of the portrait were blamed, but Emil and Clara knew that human hands, not ghostly voices, had orchestrated this tragedy. Their investigation began with the portrait itself, a masterpiece of intricate brushwork and enigmatic expression. As Clara leaned in to listen, the faintest murmur reached her ears, a string of syllables that seemed to dance just beyond comprehension. With the portrait as their starting point, Emil and Clara turned their attention to the suspects. Lady Anneliese von Braun, an elegant art collector with a penchant for secrets, was first on their list. Her past was as shadowy as the castle's corridors, and her connection to Richter was fraught with tension. Then there was Otto Schmidt, the museum's ambitious assistant. His ambition was matched only by his resentment toward Richter, who had thwarted his every attempt at advancement. Lastly, Professor Helmut Kruger, a rival curator with a history of disputes, had both the motive and the opportunity to silence Richter permanently. In the course of their investigation, Emil and Clara uncovered a series of clues, each more puzzling than the last. A lipstick-stained handkerchief found near the scene of the crime suggested a clandestine meeting. A telegram in code hinted at a secret rendezvous, while a time-stamped note in Richter's handwriting pointed to a late-night visitor. A mysterious ledger, filled with cryptic entries, seemed to hold the key to a centuries-old revenge plot that had somehow resurfaced. As Emil and Clara pieced together these fragments, they were led down a series of false trails, red herrings designed to mislead and confuse. A coded message, once deciphered, revealed a clandestine meeting between Richter and an unnamed individual. The lipstick-stained handkerchief, initially thought to belong to Lady Anneliese, was traced back to a different source entirely, casting suspicion on another party. In the castle's hidden passages, Emil and Clara discovered evidence of a long-buried feud, one that had its roots in a betrayal centuries old. Clara's linguistic expertise proved invaluable as she translated the whispers of the portrait, revealing a tale of vengeance and retribution that had been passed down through generations. The portrait itself was a key, a cipher that unlocked the secrets of the past and illuminated the motives of the present. With each clue, Emil and Clara drew closer to the truth, their methodical approach cutting through the web of deception. They confronted each suspect in turn, probing their alibis and unraveling their secrets. In a tense confrontation, the true culprit was revealed, their confession a testament to the tangled motives that had driven them to murder. The resolution of the case brought a measure of peace to the castle, the whispers of the portrait silenced at last. Emile and Clara, their partnership strengthened by the ordeal, reflected on the lessons learned and the bonds forged in the crucible of mystery. As they prepared to leave the castle, the promise of future adventures lingered in the air, a whisper of things yet to come. In the end, the castle resumed its tranquil existence, the portrait a silent witness to history. Emile and Clara parted ways, but with a shared understanding that their paths would cross again, drawn together by the mysteries that beckoned them both. As you ponder the events of this chapter, consider this question: what would you investigate next? The clues are laid before you, the suspects arrayed in their intricate dance of deception. Where will your curiosity lead you? Chapter 4: Deciphering the Evidence. The castle loomed like a sentinel against the evening sky, its turrets casting long shadows over the cobblestone courtyard. Inside, Emile and Clara huddled over a mahogany table, their eyes fixed on a curious collection of evidence. A lipstick-stained handkerchief lay between them, its crimson mark a silent witness to a clandestine encounter. "This is no ordinary handkerchief," Clara mused, her fingers tracing the delicate lace edges. "It speaks of secrets and whispers yet untold." Emile nodded, his gaze shifting to the telegram written in an enigmatic code. "If we can decipher this, it might reveal the rendezvous that sealed Richter's fate." With Clara's linguistic prowess, the cryptic symbols began to unravel, revealing a message that pointed to a secret meeting on the night of the curator's demise. Meanwhile, Emile examined a time-stamped note, its ink still fresh, suggesting a hurried departure from the scene of the crime. Each clue seemed to illuminate new possibilities, while simultaneously deepening the mystery. The ledger, however, was the most perplexing. Its pages, filled with cryptic notations and obscure references, hinted at financial dealings that could have provided a motive for murder. Emile's analytical mind raced as he connected the dots, while Clara's intuition filled in the gaps with uncanny precision. Yet, as they pieced together the puzzle, false leads emerged like phantoms, luring them into dead ends. The lipstick, the telegram, the note, and the ledger each told a story, but only when viewed through the lens of their combined intellect did the truth begin to surface. As they closed the chapter on this tangled web of deceit, one question lingered: who among the suspects was skilled enough to weave such an intricate tapestry of lies? Emile Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss stood in the dimly lit gallery of the Bavarian castle, now an art museum, their breaths mingling with the heavy air. The room was a silent witness to the mysteries they sought to unravel, its shadows concealing secrets as old as the stone walls themselves. The whispers of the Renaissance portrait, echoing faintly in their minds, were a constant reminder of the task ahead. As the chapter opens, Emile and Clara revisit the scene of Herr Klaus Richter's demise. The curator's office, a tapestry of shadows and light, held an eerie stillness. Every corner seemed to promise revelations, and the duo's keen eyes missed nothing. Clara, with her linguistic acumen, began to piece together the fragmented whispers she had recorded. Each phrase, a shard of a narrative of betrayal and vengeance, seemed to transcend time, weaving a tale that was as haunting as it was compelling. The room itself was a study in contrasts. Rich mahogany furniture stood against walls lined with tapestries depicting scenes from Bavarian folklore. A large oak desk dominated the space, its surface meticulously organized, yet hinting at hidden chaos. It was here that Clara made a pivotal discovery. As she ran her fingers along the desk's edges, she felt a subtle indentation. A hidden compartment, cleverly concealed within the ornate carvings, revealed itself with a soft click. Inside, they found a collection of letters, each one penned in a dialect unfamiliar even to Clara. Her expertise, however, allowed her to identify it as a rare form of Bavarian dialect, suggesting a personal vendetta simmering over centuries. The letters, written with fervor and desperation, spoke of a family feud that had once torn through the castle's history. These were the echoes of revenge that haunted the portrait, now manifesting in the present. Emile, ever the methodical detective, approached the letters with his characteristic precision. He cross-referenced them with the mysterious ledger they had found earlier. His logical deductions revealed a pattern of transactions and coded messages that linked their suspects to this ancient feud. The lipstick-stained handkerchief and the time-stamped note now took on new significance, each item a piece of the puzzle leading them closer to the truth. The emotional journey of this subchapter lay in the growing bond between Emile and Clara. Their partnership, though tested by the moral complexities of the case, only grew stronger. Clara's empathy for the victims of past injustices clashed with Emile's pursuit of justice in the present. This dynamic tension enriched their characters, adding depth to their relationship and the narrative. The castle itself was a character in their investigation, its Gothic architecture a silent witness to the unfolding drama. As Emile and Clara followed the clues through hidden passageways and forgotten rooms, the reader was drawn into a world where history and mystery intertwined. The cold stone walls, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows, all contributed to the atmosphere of suspense and intrigue. The subchapter culminated in a revelation that shifted the investigation's trajectory. Clara, with her linguistic prowess, deciphered a crucial phrase in the dialect. It was a chilling promise of vengeance, one that resonated with the portrait's whispers. This discovery propelled Emile and Clara into the next phase of their investigation, bridging the gap to the subsequent subchapter with a seamless flow that maintained the story's momentum. In Echoes of Vengeance, the exploration of the past's impact on the present was essential. It added emotional depth to Emile and Clara's journey and layered the clues in a way that kept readers on the edge of their seats, eager to unravel the mystery alongside the protagonists. The chapter was a testament to the power of history, the weight of old grudges, and the enduring nature of revenge. The narrative was enriched by the castle's atmosphere, its Gothic architecture a silent witness to the unfolding drama. As Emile and Clara followed the clues through hidden passageways and forgotten rooms, the reader was drawn into a world where history and mystery intertwined. The cold stone walls, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows, all contributed to the atmosphere of suspense and intrigue. The subchapter culminated in a revelation that shifted the investigation's trajectory. Clara, with her linguistic prowess, deciphered a crucial phrase in the dialect. It was a chilling promise of vengeance, one that resonated with the portrait's whispers. This discovery propelled Emile and Clara into the next phase of their investigation, bridging the gap to the subsequent subchapter with a seamless flow that maintained the story's momentum. In Echoes of Vengeance, the exploration of the past's impact on the present was essential. It added emotional depth to Emile and Clara's journey and layered the clues in a way that kept readers on the edge of their seats, eager to unravel the mystery alongside the protagonists. The chapter was a testament to the power of history, the weight of old grudges, and the enduring nature of revenge. The narrative was enriched by the castle's atmosphere, its Gothic architecture a silent witness to the unfolding drama. As Emile and Clara followed the clues through hidden passageways and forgotten rooms, the reader was drawn into a world where history and mystery intertwined. The cold stone walls, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows, all contributed to the atmosphere of suspense and intrigue. The subchapter culminated in a revelation that shifted the investigation's trajectory. Clara, with her linguistic prowess, deciphered a crucial phrase in the dialect. It was a chilling promise of vengeance, one that resonated with the portrait's whispers. This discovery propelled Emile and Clara into the next phase of their investigation, bridging the gap to the subsequent subchapter with a seamless flow that maintained the story's momentum. In Echoes of Vengeance, the exploration of the past's impact on the present was essential. It added emotional depth to Emile and Clara's journey and layered the clues in a way that kept readers on the edge of their seats, eager to unravel the mystery alongside the protagonists. The chapter was a testament to the power of history, the weight of old grudges, and the enduring nature of revenge. The narrative was enriched by the castle's atmosphere, its Gothic architecture a silent witness to the unfolding drama. As Emile and Clara followed the clues through hidden passageways and forgotten rooms, the reader was drawn into a world where history and mystery intertwined. The cold stone walls, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows, all contributed to the atmosphere of suspense and intrigue. The subchapter culminated in a revelation that shifted the investigation's trajectory. Clara, with her linguistic prowess, deciphered a crucial phrase in the dialect. It was a chilling promise of vengeance, one that resonated with the portrait's whispers. This discovery propelled Emil and Clara into the next phase of their investigation, bridging the gap to the subsequent subchapter with a seamless flow that maintained the story's momentum. In Echoes of Vengeance, the exploration of the past's impact on the present was essential. It added emotional depth to Emil and Clara's journey and layered the clues in a way that kept readers on the edge of their seats, eager to unravel the mystery alongside the protagonists. The chapter was a testament to the power of history, the weight of old grudges, and the enduring nature of revenge. Chapter 5, Revelations in the Castle's Depths. The air in the castle's depths was thick with the weight of centuries-old secrets. Emil Hartmann and Clara Weiss moved cautiously through the dimly lit passage, their footsteps echoing softly against the stone walls. Each whisper of the past seemed to beckon them deeper, promising revelations hidden away from prying eyes. As they reached a narrow alcove, Clara paused, her eyes fixed on the portrait that had become the center of their investigation. The whispers grew louder in her mind, an ancient dialect weaving tales of betrayal and vengeance. "Emil," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper, "this painting is more than a mere artifact. It's a testament to a vendetta that has haunted this place for generations." Emil nodded, his keen eyes scanning the walls for any sign of a hidden mechanism. "The castle's history is alive in these stones," he replied, "and it's up to us to piece together the narrative that binds past and present." With each step, they uncovered more of the castle's hidden passages, each turn revealing another layer of the intricate revenge plot. The tension was palpable as they connected the dots, each clue a thread in the tapestry of intrigue. Clara's translations of the whispers revealed a story of betrayal that had ensnared not only the past, but threatened the present. The duo's exploration was a delicate dance of deduction and discovery, their minds racing to unravel the mystery before them. As they pieced together the narrative, the castle's depths seemed to pulse with the echoes of past wrongs, urging them onward to the truth. What secret would their next discovery unveil, and how would it reshape their understanding of the castle's dark legacy? The grand hall of the Bavarian castle turned art museum was a place where history seemed to echo off the walls, where the past and present intertwined in a dance of shadows and light. As the dim glow of chandeliers cast flickering patterns across the ornate walls, Detective Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss stood poised to unveil the truth that had eluded them. The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable tension that seemed to hold its breath as the suspects gathered, each acutely aware that the moment of reckoning was upon them. Emil, ever the picture of calm and methodical precision, began to recount the sequence of events that had brought them to this pivotal moment. His voice, steady and authoritative, cut through the silence, drawing the attention of every soul in the room. "We stand here today not only to seek justice for Herr Klaus Richter, but to unearth the truth that has long been buried within these walls," he began, his gaze sweeping over the assembled suspects. Clara, standing by his side, nodded in agreement, her expertise in ancient dialects having been instrumental in guiding them through the labyrinth of clues. Her eyes, sharp and insightful, scanned the faces of those gathered, searching for the flicker of recognition or guilt that might betray the true culprit. Emil continued, "Let us consider the evidence we have gathered. The lipstick-stained handkerchief found in the curator's study, a seemingly innocuous item, yet it speaks volumes when placed in context. Then there is the coded telegram, a message shrouded in secrecy, revealing a clandestine meeting that could hold the key to our mystery." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle over the room. Clara interjected, her voice clear and precise. "The time-stamped note, found tucked within the pages of a ledger, marks the moment when the whispers of the portrait were first heard. It is a crucial piece of this puzzle, linking the past to the present and shedding light on the motive behind the curator's untimely demise." The suspects shifted uneasily, the reality of their situation sinking in. Lady Anneliese von Braun, her aristocratic demeanor barely concealing her anxiety, glanced nervously at Otto Schmidt, whose ambition and resentment towards the late curator were no secret. Professor Helmut Kruger, his rivalry with Richter well documented, maintained a stoic facade, though his eyes betrayed a flicker of unease. Emil's voice rose, commanding attention once more. Each of you has a connection to this castle, to the secrets it holds. Lady Annalise, your hidden past ties you to the portrait's original owner, a connection that cannot be ignored. Otto, your ambition is evident, but it is your grudge against the curator that raises suspicion. And Professor Kruger, your history of disputes with Richter adds another layer to this complex tapestry. The tension in the room escalated as Emile and Clara methodically laid out their findings, each revelation building upon the last, weaving a narrative that was both surprising and inevitable. The suspects reacted with a mix of denial, fear, and anger, the facade of innocence beginning to crumble under the weight of evidence. As the narrative reached its crescendo, Emile turned his attention to the true culprit, whose identity sent shockwaves through the room. The time has come to unmask the one who orchestrated this tragedy, he declared, his eyes fixed on the individual who had remained in the shadows, orchestrating events from afar. The revelation was met with gasps of disbelief, the truth both shocking and yet, in hindsight, inevitable. The culprit's motive, rooted in a centuries-old revenge plot, was a tale of betrayal and vengeance passed down through generations, culminating in the present-day tragedy. In a tense and emotional confrontation, the culprit's facade crumbled, their confession a cathartic release that echoed through the hall. The weight of guilt, combined with the relentless pursuit of truth by Emile and Clara, proved too much to bear. As the final pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the shadows of the past were dispelled, and the castle's secrets were finally laid to rest. The subchapter closed with a sense of resolution, a satisfying conclusion to the mystery that had gripped the castle and its inhabitants. Emile and Clara, their partnership strengthened by the journey they had undertaken, stood as a testament to the power of determination and intellect in the face of darkness. The castle, once shrouded in mystery, now stood as a silent witness to history, its secrets revealed, its whispers silenced. As the suspects departed, each lost in their thoughts, Emile and Clara took a moment to reflect on the case, the lessons learned, and the bonds forged. The mystery had been solved, justice had been served, and the castle could finally return to its tranquil existence, its legacy secured for future generations to ponder and admire. Chapter 6: Confrontation and Confession. The grand hall of the Bavarian castle was filled with an air of anticipation as Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss prepared to confront the suspects. The ornate tapestries seemed to whisper secrets of their own as the duo gathered the suspects, each unaware of the impending revelation. The room was silent, save for the ticking of an old grandfather clock, heightening the tension. Emil began with Lady Annalise von Braun, whose eyes flickered nervously. "The lipstick-stained handkerchief found in Herr Richter's study bears your mark," Emil stated, his voice steady. Annalise's facade cracked, revealing a complicated past with the curator, yet she denied any involvement in his demise. Next, Otto Schmidt shifted uneasily under Emil's scrutiny. "The coded telegram you received speaks of a meeting the night Richter died," Clara interjected, her linguistic prowess unraveling Otto's alibi. His ambition had driven him to the brink, but he too denied the fatal act. Professor Helmut Kruger, however, remained defiant until Emil presented the time-stamped note. "This ledger shows your financial dealings with Richter," Emil noted, his deduction cutting through Kruger's defenses. The professor's bravado crumbled as he confessed, revealing a web of betrayal, spun from professional jealousy and desperation. With the truth laid bare, the mystery of Richter's death was resolved. Emil's logical approach and Clara's linguistic insight had untangled the threads of deception, showcasing their impeccable partnership. As the suspects were led away, the castle's shadows seemed to retreat, leaving behind a sense of justice served. Emile and Clara exchanged a knowing glance, their work complete, yet their shared journey just beginning. The grand hall of the Bavarian castle, now an art museum, stood in hushed silence. The confession had been uttered, the truth unveiled, and the tension that had woven itself into every corner of the room began to dissolve. Emil Hartmann and Dr. Clara Weiss, the duo whose persistence and intellect had brought clarity to the chaos, stood in quiet reflection amidst the opulent surroundings. The portrait, once a source of mystery and fear, now hung serenely, a silent testament to their triumph. Emotional reflection. Emil, usually the embodiment of stoic resolve, found himself in a rare moment of vulnerability. The case had been a complex tapestry of emotions and intellect, and its resolution left him introspective. His thoughts wandered to Herr Klaus Richter, the late curator whose life had been entwined with secrets and ultimately tragedy. Emil pondered the curator's fate and the intricate web of deceit that had been unraveled. It was a sobering reminder of the human cost of ambition and vengeance. Clara, on the other hand, reflected on the linguistic puzzles that had been pivotal in their journey. The whispers of the portrait, once enigmatic and haunting, were now understood. They spoke of betrayal, a centuries-old tale of revenge that had echoed through time to touch their present. Clara's mind lingered on the nuances of the forgotten dialect, the whispers that had guided them to the truth. It was a testament to the power of language and history, a reminder of how the past never truly fades away. Character development. In this moment of reflection, Emil acknowledged Clara's invaluable contributions. Her linguistic skills had been the key to deciphering the whispers and unraveling the historical context of the revenge plot. This recognition cemented their professional bond and mutual respect. Emil had always valued methodical investigation, but Clara's insights had added a new dimension to his approach. Clara, in turn, expressed her admiration for Emil's methodical approach and keen intuition. His ability to navigate the labyrinth of clues and red herrings had been instrumental in their success. Together, they had formed a partnership that was greater than the sum of its parts. It was a relationship built on trust and respect, one that promised future collaborations, resolution of subplots. The subchapter also served to resolve the lingering questions about the suspects. Lady Anneliese von Braun, whose hidden past had cast suspicion upon her, was revealed to be a red herring. Her secrets, though scandalous, were unrelated to the crime. Otto Schmidt and Professor Helmut Kruger, both of whom had motives rooted in personal grievances, were cleared of suspicion. Their actions, while questionable, had not crossed into murderous intent. The mysterious items that had puzzled Emil and Clara, the lipstick-stained handkerchief, the coded telegram, and the time-stamped note, were finally explained in light of the confession. Each piece of evidence fit seamlessly into the narrative puzzle, forming a cohesive picture of the events that had transpired. It was a satisfying resolution, one that brought closure to the myriad threads of the case. Farewell moments. As the night drew to a close, Emil and Clara found themselves in the castle's courtyard. The moonlight cast a serene glow over the ancient stones, creating a moment of tranquility amidst the chaos. They spoke of their future, hinting at more adventures to come, yet acknowledging the need for a brief respite. The case had been taxing, and both knew the value of reflection and rest. The castle's staff and the remaining suspects, now exonerated, bid farewell to the duo. There was a palpable sense of gratitude and relief, the specter of suspicion lifted from their shoulders. The castle, once a place of tension and fear, was returning to its rightful state of peace. Transition to epilogue. As Emil and Clara prepared to leave, they took one last look at the portrait. It stood as a symbol of their success, a reminder of the mysteries yet to be uncovered. The whispers had been silenced, but the allure of the unknown remained. It was a fitting end to their journey, one that left them both with a sense of accomplishment and anticipation. Their farewell was bittersweet, marked by a promise to reunite for future cases. They parted ways, each embarking on a personal journey of reflection and renewal. Emil and Clara had grown through their experiences, and their partnership had been strengthened. The chapter closed with a sense of satisfaction, leaving readers with the promise of more adventures to come. Chapter 7, Resolution and New Beginnings. The early morning sun cast a gentle glow over Schattenberg Castle, its Gothic spires piercing the Bavarian sky. The air was crisp, carrying with it the scent of dew-kissed grass and the promise of a new day. Inside the castle's stone walls, the echoes of recent events lingered like the fading notes of a distant symphony. The mystery that had once gripped the castle had been unraveled, and with it came a sense of resolution and the anticipation of new beginnings. Emil Hartmann stood in the grand hall, his gaze fixed on the Renaissance portrait that had been at the heart of their investigation. The painting, now a silent witness to the castle's storied past, seemed to hold a certain serenity, as if the secrets it once guarded had finally been laid to rest. Beside him, Dr. Clara Weiss observed the portrait with a thoughtful expression, her mind undoubtedly replaying the events that had brought them to this moment. As they stood side by side, the quiet camaraderie between Emil and Clara was palpable. Their partnership, forged in the crucible of a complex investigation, had grown stronger with each challenge they faced. Emil, with his methodical approach and keen instincts, complemented Clara's linguistic expertise and intuitive understanding of human nature. Together, they had navigated the labyrinth of clues and red herrings, their mutual respect deepening with each revelation. Reflecting on the case, Emil couldn't help but admire Clara's tenacity and insight. Her ability to decipher the whispers of the portrait had been instrumental in unraveling the mystery, revealing a tale of betrayal and vengeance that spanned centuries. Clara, in turn, appreciated Emil's unwavering determination and sharp analytical mind, qualities that had guided them through the darkest moments of their investigation. With the mystery solved, Schattenberg Castle returned to its tranquil existence, its halls once again filled with the soft footfalls of visitors eager to explore its history. The portrait, now free of its spectral burden, stood as a testament to the enduring power of art and the stories it can tell. The castle's secrets had been laid to rest, but the lessons learned would linger in the minds of those who had been touched by its tale. As Emil and Clara prepared to part ways, there was a sense of closure, but also a promise of future adventures. The bond they had formed during the investigation was not easily broken, and both knew that their paths would cross again. The world was full of mysteries waiting to be solved, and together, they were more than capable of tackling whatever challenges lay ahead. "It's been quite the journey," Emil remarked, his voice tinged with a mixture of satisfaction and nostalgia. "I couldn't have asked for a better partner." Clara smiled, her eyes reflecting the warmth of their shared experiences. "Nor I," she replied. "I have a feeling this won't be our last adventure." With a final glance at the portrait, Emil and Clara stepped out into the morning light, the promise of new beginnings guiding their steps. As they walked away from the castle, the whispers of the past faded into the distance, leaving behind a story that would be remembered for generations to come. Their journey complete, Emil and Clara left Schattenberg Castle with a sense of fulfillment and anticipation for what lay ahead. The mystery had been solved, but the world was vast and full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. With their partnership strengthened by the challenges they had faced, Emil and Clara were ready to embrace whatever mysteries the future held, confident in their ability to unravel even the most enigmatic of tales. As the castle resumed its tranquil existence, the portrait remained, a silent witness to history and a reminder of the power of perseverance and collaboration. Emil and Clara's story was but one chapter in the castle's long and storied past, but it was a chapter that would be remembered for its intrigue, its revelations, and the enduring friendship it forged. With the sun rising higher in the sky, casting its golden light over the Bavarian landscape, Emil and Clara set off on their separate paths, each carrying with them the memories of their shared adventure and the promise of new mysteries to come. The world was full of stories waiting to be told, and together they were more than ready to uncover them.